Did you know that the time to act against climate change is running out? The Earth, our home, is sending us a message. It's a message delivered through roaring wildfires, devastating floods, and increasingly powerful storms. The signs are impossible to ignore. Our climate is changing, and the consequences are real. We are living in a critical moment. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come. It's time to face the reality of climate change and take bold action. We must act now, for our own sake and for the sake of our children. The urgency cannot be overstated. Every degree of warming, every ton of carbon emitted, pushes us closer to a point of no return. But amidst the alarming statistics and dire predictions, there is hope. We have the power to change course. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the collective will to create a sustainable future. But it all starts with acknowledging the problem and embracing our responsibility to act. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's a present reality affecting millions around the world, including millions of Americans. From the heartland to the coasts, the evidence is undeniable. Across the globe, temperatures are rising at an alarming rate. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, and extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe. The delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems is being disrupted, threatening the very systems that sustain life on Earth. The scientific consensus is clear. Human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, is the primary driver of this unprecedented change. Vast amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. The consequences of inaction are too great to ignore. We are facing a future of more intense heat waves, more prolonged droughts, more destructive storms, and more widespread displacement of communities. The time to act is now, before it's too late. Here in the United States, the impacts of climate change are already being felt from coast to coast. Our nation, with its diverse landscapes and ecosystems, is incredibly vulnerable to the effects of a warming world. In the West, wildfires rage with unprecedented ferocity, fueled by hotter temperatures and drier conditions. Vast swaths of forest are reduced to ash, homes are destroyed, and communities are displaced. The air quality is choked with smoke, posing serious health risks to millions. In the southeast, hurricanes are becoming more intense and destructive. Rising sea levels are exacerbating storm surges, flooding coastal communities, and causing billions of dollars in damage. The frequency and intensity of these storms are putting a strain on resources and threatening the livelihoods of millions. The Midwest, often called the nation's breadbasket, is facing increasingly severe droughts and floods, threatening agricultural yields and disrupting the nation's food supply. Climate change is transforming the American landscape, and the consequences are far-reaching. John, a fifth-generation farmer in California's Central Valley, has witnessed the devastating impacts of climate change firsthand. For the past several years, California has been gripped by a relentless drought. The once-abundant reservoirs that sustain the state's agriculture are dwindling. John relies on irrigation to water his crops. This year, John had to fallow a third of his land. The yields are down, and John is facing a significant financial loss. It's heartbreaking, John says, his voice filled with sadness and frustration. John's story is just one of millions. Section 5, The Power of One, Your Choices Matter. In the face of this global challenge, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or powerless. But the truth is, every individual has the power to make a difference. Our collective actions, no matter how small they may seem, can create a ripple effect that contributes to a more sustainable future. The fight against climate change begins with a shift in mindset. We must recognize that our daily choices, from the food we eat to the way we travel, have an impact on the environment. By making conscious decisions to reduce our carbon footprint, we can collectively reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. There is no single solution to this complex problem. It will require a multifaceted approach, with individuals, governments, and businesses all playing a role. But it all starts with us. The power to create change lies within each of us. Let's embrace this responsibility and become part of the solution. Section 6. Energy efficiency, small changes, big impact. One of the most impactful ways to reduce our carbon footprint is to become more energy efficient in our homes. Simple changes can lead to significant energy savings, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and lowering our greenhouse gas emissions. Start by switching to energy-efficient appliances. Look for appliances with the Energy Star label, which indicates that they meet strict energy efficiency guidelines set by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. These appliances use less energy, which can save you money on your utility bills while reducing your environmental impact. Another simple step is to switch to LED light bulbs. LEDs use up to 80% less energy than traditional incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer. They also produce less heat, making them a safer and more energy-efficient option. Insulating your home is also crucial for energy efficiency. Proper insulation helps regulate the temperature inside your home, reducing the need for heating and cooling. This not only saves energy, but also makes your home more comfortable year-round. By taking these simple steps, we can all contribute to a cleaner, greener future. Section 7. Transportation Transformation, Greener Ways to Move. Transportation is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, but we can all make a difference by choosing greener transportation options whenever possible. One of the easiest ways to reduce your carbon footprint is to drive less. Consider walking, biking, or taking public transportation whenever possible. These modes of transportation produce zero emissions and are often more convenient and affordable than driving. If you must drive, consider carpooling with colleagues or friends. Sharing rides reduces the number of cars on the road, which in turn reduces traffic congestion and emissions. Plus, it's a great way to socialize and save money on gas. Another option is to invest in an electric or hybrid vehicle. These vehicles produce significantly fewer emissions than traditional gasoline-powered cars and are becoming increasingly affordable and accessible. Many governments offer incentives for purchasing electric vehicles, making them an even more attractive option. By rethinking our transportation habits, we can significantly reduce our carbon footprint and create a cleaner, healthier environment. Section 8. Food choices for a healthier planet, eating with awareness. The food we eat impacts the environment significantly. Food production, transportation, and waste contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Reducing meat consumption, especially red meat, is impactful. Livestock production generates significant greenhouse gases, particularly methane. Incorporate more plant-based meals into your diet. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, and grains have a lower environmental impact. Experiment with plant-based recipes and flavors. Reduce food waste by planning meals and composting. Make conscious food choices to reduce environmental impact. Section 9. Recycling Revolution, Closing the Loop. Recycling is one of the easiest and most effective ways to reduce our environmental impact. By recycling paper, plastic, glass, and metal, we conserve natural resources, reduce pollution, and save energy. Make recycling a part of your daily routine. Set up recycling bins in your home and workplace, and make sure you know what materials can and cannot be recycled in your area. Many communities offer curbside recycling pickup, making it even easier to recycle. When shopping for products, look for items made from recycled materials. This helps create a demand for recycled products, encouraging manufacturers to use more recycled content in their packaging and products. Recycling is a simple yet powerful action that we can all take to reduce our environmental footprint and create a more sustainable future. Let's all do our part to close the loop and give materials a second life. Section 10. Our shared responsibility, a future we can create. The challenge of climate change is daunting, but it is not insurmountable. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the collective will to create a sustainable future. But it requires a fundamental shift in our thinking and our actions. We must move away from our dependence on fossil fuels and transition to clean, renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal. We must invest in energy efficiency, sustainable transportation, and responsible agriculture. And we must make conservation a priority in all aspects of our lives. This is not just the responsibility of governments or corporations, it's the responsibility of each and every one of us. We all have a role to play in creating a sustainable future. Section 11. A Sustainable Tomorrow, Hope in Action. Imagine a world where clean energy powers our homes and cities, where transportation is efficient and sustainable, and where our food system nourishes both people and the planet. This is the future we can create if we act now. The transition to a sustainable future will not be easy. It will require significant investment, innovation, and collaboration. But the benefits far outweigh the costs. By addressing climate change, we can create a healthier, more just and more prosperous future for all. Let's embrace the challenge of climate change with a spirit of hope and determination. Let's work together to create a world where future generations can thrive on a healthy and vibrant planet. The time to act is now. Let's make it happen.